Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Google Cloud AI Governance, Practical Policies, Guardrails, and Audits.
Presenting today's topic is Geetika Sethi. Geetika is a seasoned professional with over 10 years of experience in research and teaching. She specializes in GCP data analytics, covering data lifecycle management, solution architecture, and data visualization using Looker Studio as well as other tools. Her expertise extends to ML AI-driven analytics, focusing on prediction, automation, and pattern recognition. She has successfully delivered numerous corporate and academic trainings with excellent outcomes. Please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is from the Cloud Practice Area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com.
In this session, we'll show how to turn policy into enforceable Google Cloud controls, so Vertex AI plus Gemini workloads are secure, compliant, and audit-ready. We shall map requirements to org policy, IAM ZARBAC, VPC service controls, CMEK, KMS, DLP, and audit logging, then demonstrate governed workflows, RAG with BigQuery docs, tool calling, approvals, HEADAL, and the evidence auditors. Expect AVIL rubrics, model cards, decision logs, lineage. You'll leave with practical patterns to implement guardrails without slowing teams down.
I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Geetika, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Geetika Sethi, and today I'm here to share few points on the topic Google Cloud cloud-based AI governance, which spans important and core implementations like practical policies, guardrails, and audits. The agenda of this webinar would begin by discussing overall what AI governance is, and then we will focus on the core concepts and examples of AI governance on Google Cloud. Followed by this, we are going to discuss why do enterprises need AI governance at the very first place. Then core pillars that are part of the framework of AI governance, like policies, guardrails, data governance, model governance, and other controls would be taken up. And finally, we will see how audits, compliances, and overall operationalization on Google Cloud are all the contributing concepts to the main topic of AI governance on Google Cloud. The first question is AI governance as to what it revolves around. AI governance revolves around responsible use of AI systems in enterprise environments. We, as the cloud practitioners and AI professionals, have to be aligned to these systems to meet the ethical and business standards and also abide by the legal boundaries. Overall, the AI governance on Google Cloud is focused to look at the outcomes where there is reduced risk from biased or non-compliant AI implementations like the AI models. Overall, we also want to ensure accountability in our AI-based work and AI lifecycle of the projects related to the same. We also intend to support the customers and the stakeholders with the governance frameworks. And overall, this complete AI governance implementations end to end are built on Google Cloud best practices. So let's take a look at the first implementation, and that is the responsible use of AI systems. On the screen are shown two services on Google Cloud Platform, one being Vertex AI, in which core AI implementations, including machine developed and deployed. This service is equipped with implementations that would allow responsible AI adoption. So one example would be the implementation of the machine learning models that include the development and deployment would be performed using the right set of and the correct set of purpose, which is well documented and the limitations also disclosed. So that would be an example where AI systems are being deployed with responsibility. Another example of the Google Cloud service that contributes to responsible AI adoption is identity access management. The identity access management service allows to decide who can do what on which service through the settings of the roles and the adoption of the IAM policies. Completely controlled access can be set up for the services like Vertex AI with well-defined user roles and permissions, the security of the implementations, and the security of the data and the deployed model resources is in place because of the controlled access. Overall, this service of identity access management allows to manage access and also be compliant for the golden rule of least privileges that needs to be adopted for the projects and deployments on Google Cloud Platform. Then we look at another example that contributes to the AI governance on Google Cloud. And this involves regulatory and ethical alignment. So examples that support regulatory and ethical alignment are shown through this cartoon on the screen. The Vertex AI, the service that we saw on the previous slide as well, is the service on which ML AI deployments can be successfully performed. And this service is very well aligned to the ethical and regulatory requirements as per international standards. Followed by this, there is DLP API for sensitive data protection. The data which would be present on Vertex AI systems, as the data is the core pillar for the machine learning and artificial intelligence systems. So when the sensitive data is under question or is under the provision of the development and deployment endeavor, then that sensitive data needs to be protected through added effort of implementing the DLP API. So overall, this service allows to mask the information and protects the sensitive data, and this is going to protect the data and overall prevent the data loss as well. Furthermore, the workloads on Google Cloud Platform meet regulatory requirements as per international standards, and the services are equipped with compliances in place, and these workloads can also be automated for the customized and tailored requirements that would meet the regulatory and ethical alignments. Next example that is contributing to AI governance on Google Cloud is bias and compliance. So, and once again, the service like Vertex AI is also a service which is equipped with explainable AI, where the bias detections becomes super easy. There are indicators which can be used for evaluation to ensure that the compliances are in place, and the models that are deployed on Vertex AI, they can also be monitored for any drift that has come, and with timely detections and monitoring, the bias and compliance can be achieved. Another example of the contributing component to AI governance on Google Cloud is end-to-end accountability. For end-to-end accountability, complete projects on service like Vertex AI can be traced for the lineage. All the implementations, all the operations can be easily traced on this particular service, a service that is dedicated for ML AI development and deployments. Furthermore, another service is cloud audit logs. So cloud audit logs are the log reports of the audits achieved internally within the system on multiple services within the Google Cloud platform. Now, this audit outputs in the form of log reports can then be studied through intense data analytics for auditability and can be implemented for tightened scrutiny for the establishment of end-to-end accountability. And overall, the Vertex AI pipelines are therefore possible for the standardized workflows, and the workflows are standardized and can be repetitively implemented, and these standardized workflows are already set up and evaluated for the existing compliances and the regulatory procedures in place. The last but not the least example that successfully outlines the AI governance on Google Cloud Platform is trust and transparency. So the models that are deployed on systems like Vertex AI, and the examples of the models could be machine learning models. These could be large language models. So the models that are deployed on services like Vertex AI are equipped to be looked into very clearly, and the insights into such deployments is highly possible through model cards. This contributes to complete transparency that bolsters trust in the system completely. Another pillar in the similar direction is the compliance. So one service on GCP called as Security Command Center is very well equipped to report the compliances in the systems and solutions of AI deployments on the Google Cloud platform. Overall, Security Command Center is a unified security and compliance visibility and reporting tool. This tool makes Google Cloud Platform totally unique and unmatched globally for the AI governance related efforts set up by the provider itself, and that is Google. Next, we come to the trust that needs to be in place for the users and the professionals who are working on Google Cloud Platform. Not only the professionals, but also the stakeholders who are part of the projects and have high stakes in the projects, which are the ML AI projects. They would require explainable predictions for trust. So the predictions that are made by the models have to be highly explainable so that evaluations can be performed to ensure that the predictions of those MLAI systems are trustworthy. This also contributes to interpret and understand the outputs from the given MLAI models and the decisions that can be made from the insights achieved from the same. Next, we shift gears to understand better that why do enterprises need the governance frameworks for their AI endeavors at the very first place? And the answer is very simple. The AI governance is highly critical to prevent violations related to the regulations of the company, organization, or the corporate, or violations even at the national level, or even at the global international level. One core example includes the data privacy breaches. And we saw that on the previous slide that the data loss prevention, data protection based measures are very well present on the Google Cloud Platform based services, typically the ones like Vertex AI, which are equipped for the or with the capability of deployment of machine learning and artificial intelligence solutions. Another point that supports the fact that AI governance is highly critical for enterprises is to prevent the reputational damage that would come from unethical AI outcomes. So at the very first place, the unethical AI implementations have to be checked and prevented. And in all the previous slides that we've already discussed in part 1 and of the webinar, we saw that the unethical AI outcomes are preventable through those implementations that help build trust and transparency, that help build end-to-end accountability, etc. Next, we come to another discussion that is core to the AI solutions. The AI solutions allow automations. They allow minimum human intervention, or in other words, they minimize human interventions. So when such outcomes are achieved from AI solutions, where automated procedures, automated outcomes, automated decisions are being generated and are being adopted, then the risk of the operational breaches or the risk of operational goof up is minimized when the governance is in place and the practices of the governance are very well adopted. So overall, mitigation of the operational risks is accomplished when effective AI governance is adopted by the enterprises. Next, as part of AI governance, building transparent systems with intense explainability is highly critical and crucial. And we've seen that on the previous slides. So the enterprises that are adopting the AI governance framework effectively and specifically in the context of solutions on Google Cloud Platform, they are ensuring transparency in AI-driven business processes. This builds trust across the stakeholders. This contributes to accountability for the end users and hence contributes to the businesses and the successes effectively. Last but not the least, discussion that contributes to AI governance being critical for enterprises is the scalability. Let's not forget that scalability is an important and critical, excuse me, is an important and critical component when it comes to AI solutions that are typically designed and developed for global consumption. Such scalable systems would be feasible with safety in place if the AI governance frameworks are well adopted by the concerned enterprises. So as we see on the screen, there is the need for AI governance in the enterprises to be adopted at every level of operations and every department, be it finance, marketing, admin, etc. And hence, AI governance is critical for enterprises. So implementing solutions on Google Cloud by the enterprises equips them with all the added advantages accomplished as Google Cloud is highly particular and the services on Google Cloud are well equipped with AI governance as per international standards. Next, let's look at the core pillars of AI governance on Google Cloud Platform. We will be discussing in depth the policies, the guardrails, and the data governance. So, although we are highlighting AI governance, but let's not forget data is the most important working actor in AI solutions, and hence data governance contributes highly significantly to the AI governance overall. In fact, without data governance, AI governance would be fully incomplete. So let's go back and discuss each of these one by one, step by step, to look at their contributions to the AI governance on Google Cloud. So, AI policy, design, and documentation on Google Cloud services is accomplished through multiple implementations on the Google Cloud platform. So let's take a look at the first one, which is the policies of the access control that contribute to AI ownership. So this cartoon is showing that there is hierarchy of roles and responsibilities for correct ownerships in the AI projects. And each contributor in the project, be it a human employee or be it a service or technology, all the stakeholders would be having their own set of very well established roles and permissions based on which they will be able to implement the work they are supposed to do. This system also follows the golden rule of least privileges. That means member one in the team cannot have undue privileges. Likewise, member two in the team, as you can see, will also be able to contribute based on their own roles and the permission that has been provided to them. So next concept that contributes to AI policy design and documentation on Google Cloud platform is the data sourcing and the consent requirements. So the origin of the data being used for the AI solutions can be traced and documented, and hence the documentation of data sourcing as a practice to ensure the compliances. And once the tracking and tracing of the data origin is feasible on Google Cloud systems, hence the permission compliances or user permission compliances or the stakeholder permission compliances are very well and easily checked for. Now let's come to this one, which is going to be that the complete set of actions by the stakeholders can be tracked and monitored. So here we talked about tracing the data origin. And here we are talking about tracking and tracing the user actions, monitoring the user actions, monitoring the governance actions. So the tools which are equipped with governance frameworks, those can also be monitored and confirmed for being implemented correctly, and that too at the right time and right place of implementation. So we see that not only the data sourcing is well traced and documented to ensure compliances, we see that not only the permissions at each level of the hierarchical uh, members or hierarchical positioning of the members in the team, and not only the tracking and tracing of the governance actions is possible, but there is much more on Google Cloud Platform that contributes to the AI policy design and documentation for serving to be the pillar of the AI governance on Google Cloud overall. So what are the other examples that contribute in this direction? The next example that contributes to this pillar is complete clarification of the high risk applications. So the systems on Google Cloud Platform have the capability to identify the high risk applications. As you can see, the blue tick versus the red cross. So internally, the systems are equipped with capabilities to diagnose high risk applications, thereby setting up the ethical boundaries for the users and providing the warnings and clarifications well in advance. This defines the applications that are acceptable or the applications that are not acceptable and rather prohibited and are tagged as prohibited AI use cases. Hence, this serves to be a very, very important example, which is part of AI policy design and documentation for AI governance on Google Cloud. The last example to discuss is establishment of model approval and review processes that involve gated checkpoints which successfully assess for quality and safety, thereby not compromising on the overall quality controls when it comes to the operations of the models on Google Cloud Platform. This again is part of the AI policy design on Google Cloud Platform as well. Now, let's shift gears to look at the guardrails which are set up on the Google Cloud Platform, which serve to be another important pillar for the AI governance on Google Cloud. The first and the foremost is the misuse of generative AI systems can be prevented successfully because of these guardrails. So the core guardrails system is equipped with technologies to check and prevent the malicious use of the generative AI systems, or rather, the powerful generative AI systems. One example that can be discussed from the perspective of the enterprises using the generative AI systems that are customized to their own organization on Google Cloud Platform would be where the list of not allowed actions is in place, and that prohibited actions and implementations through Guardrails core system is done by the organization that is using customized and tailored generative AI systems solutions deployed on Google Cloud altogether. This may involve employees from being prevented to not perform a, a certain set of actions on these generative AI systems. Hence, the guardrails is the implementation through which such preventions of the targeted set of actions and implementations can be achieved. Another example where the Guardrails core system on Google Cloud Platform can be leveraged is to perform the content filtering to implement the safety constraints successfully. This again is going to contribute to the overall safety and ethical implementation of the governance frameworks by the corporates who choose to adopt responsible AI implementation. Another example that is leveraged through Guardrails core system is to be able to detect and diagnose the biases and perform the fairness checks on the models developed and deployed on the Google Cloud Platform services. Next, for the processes and implementations that are highly mission critical processes or are very sensitive processes, in those systems, the human intervention is inevitable. So guardrails have proper provisioning to validate human in the loop to ensure that the mission critical processes and projects are not completely relying on the compute or computer intelligence through ML AI systems. So, one example for such mission critical projects would be national security projects. Another example could be the healthcare related projects where the intervention from the doctors are mandatory and the outcomes cannot be completely relied on the AI tools, and where the AI tools are merely the assistants and not replacing the doctors in the complete healthcare projects. So such mission critical projects where human intervention is inevitable, that human intervention has to be validated by human in the loop implementation that is achieved through these guardrails core systems on Google Cloud. And last but not the least, argument that supports the importance of guardrails for responsible AI implementation is where these guardrails are able to restrict the model access by the users who do not have privileges and permissions to access those AI systems. So are we also indicating in-house safety? Yes. And are we also indicating that these guardrail systems contribute to the cybersecurity as well? The answer is yes. Only and only access based or only and only the users who have access approved are able to get and have the model or the AI system access, and anyone else, be it a human based access or be it a tool and a technology based access, it is prohibited and prevented until and unless it belongs to the approved list of model access based on the roles and permissions. So we see that overall, the guardrails core system on Google Cloud Platform contributes to adoption of responsible AI, thereby bolstering AI governance on Google Cloud Platform. Next, as we discussed, that data governance is highly critical for AI governance. AI governance without data governance would be like a pizza without a pizza base. Why? Because data is the basis of majority of the MLAI systems. And if this is missing, data is missing, then getting your AI solutions developed and deployed at the very first place is almost not possible. Hence, the data governance for the data that is in place for the MLAI solutions is very much part of the AI governance and hence can be called as AI data governance. So the arguments and the examples that support the data governance framework on Google Cloud Platform are listed and shared through this cartoon. The first one that quickly grabs the attention is the possibility of achieving security, privacy, and compliances when it comes to the data on the Google Cloud Platform. How is that achieved? This is achieved through integration of robust controls for data protection on different services of Google Cloud Platform that come together for developing and deploying the AI solutions. The simplest example for data protection on the services like Google Cloud Storage on Google Cloud Platform would be data encryption. Another example for data protection on Google Cloud services would be prevention of accessing the data by the unprivileged users. So all such existing controls are integrated within this governance core, typically for the data-related endeavors to contribute to security, privacy, and compliance that contribute effectively to the AI data governance. Next, we look at the Google Cloud services that themselves internally have their own individual set of built-in tools for the management of operations. So typically talking about the data services which are fully managed services on Google Cloud, they incorporate the right set of implementations which would contribute to the AI data governance framework. Next, we come to catering to the enterprise scale AI deployments. So when the data is being handled to cater to the enterprise scale AI deployments, thereby serving the complex organizational needs, then the core components of this AI data governance caters well at highly scalable levels as well, and not only at the proof of concept level. So all the integrated governance core tools, services, benefits can be leveraged at even highly scalable levels as well, and are not limited. These are not limited to the proof of concept level only. Rather, can be implemented at highly scalable levels as well. Now let's take a look at the governance frameworks being implemented for the entire life cycle. And when we say life cycle, we are talking about the data life cycle management, DLM, as much as for model lifecycle management and the complete application lifecycle management. So end to end, right from data import to the data being leveraged by the model to the final responses and the outcomes that the application is providing or the overall solution is providing, end to end, all the steps are well operated under the core AI data governance framework on Google Cloud. This is also possible because a typical AI solution would involve the data, the model, and the overall application. Combining these two, and hence this setup combining these core components would involve multiple services, which in turn are set up for security, privacy, and compliances. So each native service which would come together to get the applications focused on data and AI models be up and running, those complete individual set of native cloud services on Google Cloud would be able to then successfully be operating on that integrated AI data governance core. And last but not the least is that the complete set of implementations that involve the data in the processes are very well built around accountability and transparency. So yes, the data governance frameworks will also have the core components individually, same as that of the AI governance framework.
Let's take a quick 5-minute break, and I'll start on the remaining topics after the break.
Sure, we are now going to take a 5-minute break, but before we do that, we are going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue from where we left off.
Next, we discuss model governance and responsible AI controls. As we reach to this topic, we see that to the overall AI governance, data governance is an important contribution. Model governance is also an important contribution. So the overall AI governance is built on multiple implementations, where model governance is also one such implementation, along with the responsible AI controls related to the same. So now let's switch gears and talk from the perspective of complete model lifecycle management. As on the previous discussion, we talked from the perspective of data governance, and now we talk from the perspective of model governance, right? Now, before we start discussing all this, let us pick up some examples when we talk about models related to artificial intelligence. So when we talk of typical machine learning models, we talk about supervised machine learning models like linear regression, like logistic regression, naive Bayes, support vector machines. So we are looking at the supervised machine learning models. Then we are looking at unsupervised machine learning models. We may talk about the KNN, K nearest neighbor, for clustering. When we talk about another level of models altogether, the examples would include large language models, the ones that involve Gemini, Google Gemini, or GPTs, or Claude Anthropic, etc. So when such models are part of the solutions, and those solutions are deployed on Google Cloud Platform, then we look at the perspective of model governance and lifecycle management as an important pillar of AI governance on Google Cloud. So now let's go step by step. So the first and the most important and crucial and mandatory implementation related to the model operation is going to be the training of the models, and also the models that are being trained by different data sets, they could be also improved upon, and newer and better versions of models could be implemented. So one practice that would lead to different model versions could be, let's say, hyperparameter tuning. So when we tune the models, we make them better and better, then we have different versions of these working models. So Google Cloud Platform offers the services on which these models can be trained, they can be tested, they can be developed and then deployed. And this complete life cycle of these models development and deployment and versioning, etc., is very well as per the regulatory frameworks and the compliances. The next discussion to contribute to the model governance would be the controlled model retirement. So if a given model has to be archived and not be operational, and yet it cannot be deleted permanently and has to be archived, as it may have to be retrieved later on, then through correct settings on the Google Cloud platform-based services, the timelines can be set up for the retirement of the model, the archival of the model. Hence, the life cycle can be managed of already operational model, which is a machine learning or AI model. Life cycle can be managed with the durations of operations and the timing set for the model to be archived after such and such implementations achieved successfully. And this could be timed, this may be handled impromptu, or it could be pre-decided and planned. But overall, because of successful model lifecycle management possible on Google Cloud Platform services, the archival is feasible, and this archival can be automated as well. Next, we look at the monitoring of the model performance over time. So this is very, very critical implementation, because the models that are deployed for machine learning, artificial intelligence solutions, they are evaluated based on the performance. And the performance is evaluated by the metrics, which is based on the data collected internally by the Google Cloud Platform settings. And because the monitoring of the model over time is feasible, hence the trust on the model even can be deepened further as the performance evaluation is in place, and hence the decision making about the model's life cycle management can be done accordingly. So another point would be that the performance of the model is central to the fact that whether the model will continue to be in operations or not. Also, the performance of the model, which can be monitored for different metrics and for different outcomes, can be used to make comparisons also. So not only lifecycle management, but also for making comparisons across different models deployed for the similar task to evaluate the best performing models, and hence eliminating or archiving the not so best performing models. And by doing that, we are looking in the direction of optimizations, and hence the optimization, like cost optimization, by archiving the not so well performing model, is one exemplary outcome of monitoring the model performance over time. So this is very, very critical. The sky is the limit to the advantages and the benefits offered by the monitoring of the models that are deployed on Google Cloud Platform for the AI solutions. And the monitoring is handled internally by the Google Cloud monitoring services, which could be easily integrated with model deployment and operations services. Hence, together, the model deployed on GCP services becomes an excellent combination which is leveraging the monitoring capabilities of Google Cloud Platform that are highly crucial to the model governance overall. Next would be the documentation about the deployed successfully operating models. So correct documentation through README files serve to provide the stakeholders proper documentations highlighting the main objective of the model in the solution or the application, and also may highlight very clearly the caveats and the limitations that are brought along by a given model or a set of models. Now, depending upon what the solution is, it could be a single model deployment, it could be an ensemble learning model deployment where multiple models are clubbed together to give highly well performing systems which are way more trustworthy and credible because of their excellent performance. So let us not forget, when we are talking about model governance and life cycle management, we may be looking at the single model systems, or we may also be looking at multiple model systems depending upon the solutions that we are trying to accomplish on the Google Cloud Platform, and hence using the services accordingly with the capabilities of model governance as highlighted here in green, blue, purple, peach, and now in yellow. So the last but not the least example of the capabilities on Google Cloud Platform for model governance and lifecycle management includes the implementation of needed approvals by the stakeholders before the model can be deployed successfully. This clearly prevents the misuse and misdeployment of the models, which may not be the right choices for a given organization or a corporate. This also adds accountability, as the authorities approving the model before the deployment would be held accountable for any unethical practices, thereby successfully contributing to model governance, which is core to AI governance overall. Let's not forget the major agenda is AI governance, which is accomplished by the building blocks, where model governance is one of the building blocks. And the examples of the contributing implementations are listed as being pointed out through this pointer. So overall, through the credible Google Cloud Platform model governance, we are able to ensure accountability, like we discussed, compliances, like we discussed, and continuous improvement, like we discussed, because of the possible implementations on Google Cloud Platform that gives it a global advantage, or rather positions it globally to be one of the best cloud services provider for AI solutions with right set of AI governance implementations in place, and that too as per international standards. Next, we discuss in depth the monitoring, logging, and explainability on Google Cloud. So all the data related services can be monitored, logged, and explained. All the model related services can be monitored, logged, and explained. And if there are services part of AI solutions, storage, like databases, which are not always model-based services, they can also be monitored, logged, and explained. So Google Cloud Platform extensively offers highly effective and state-of-the-art monitoring and logging services, and now even the explainability services, which not only allow complete transparency of the operations of all the services that are part of a given AI solutions. So let us remember that AI solutions would not be based on only one or two given services. They would be resulting from integrating multiple services all together. And these services are going to be highly inevitable, where each service can be individually monitored, each service can be individually logged for the operations, and each service may be equipped with the explainability applications that would allow uh, the explainability for the outputs achieved on those services. Now let's get into each of these individually. So let's talk about logging, one of the most inevitable implementations when it comes to the most inevitable implementations when it comes to looking at the when it comes to looking at the perspective of governance frameworks. And we will see how crucial and mandatory it would be, where the data analytics on the logs for the components of AI solutions like models can be performed to look at the outcomes from these models. So the predictions and the decisions that these ML AI models would be making The logs can be captured to analyze the, or not only analyze, but also the proofing of predictions and the decisions altogether. Any security based incident or any incident with the operating components of the AI solutions can be easily investigated. The root cause analysis can be performed. Threat intelligence can in, be in place. Incident response systems can be in place, all because of the logging capabilities of the services on Google Cloud Platform. And here, typically, we are talking about the services related to the AI solutions on Google Cloud Platform. So overall, logging in itself contributes highly critically to the governance frameworks, be it for the database governance, model-based governance, or overall AI governance on Google Cloud Platform. Now let's come to the next individual discussion point, and that is monitoring. So first and foremostly, are logging and monitoring different from each other? So the answer is yes. These are totally different services. Could they be internally related? Possibly, depending upon what metric we are looking at the through the monitoring service or monitoring systems. But on the surface and to the outside users, they are two different services which can be leveraged for AI solutions and can be leveraged for overall AI governance. Now, monitoring is going to provide the metrics, and metrics has the data and majorly in tabular forms, which can allow to look at aspects like model behavior. And model behavior in terms of latency is one example. Model behavior in terms of security is another example. Or any drifts and changes in such behaviors can be evaluated. So these systems not only work for the model monitoring, but they also work for the data monitoring. So all the services on Google Cloud Platform, which will be used for AI solutions and are dealing with data-oriented tasks, they can also be easily monitored for the metrics, which would be the information or the pieces of information to look at the drifts and shifts in the performance, in the behavior, in the efficiency, etc. So whatever metric you want to target, you can monitor that metric as per the use case in hand. Last but not the least is explainability. And Vertex AI is a golden example of an AI service on Google Cloud Platform that is equipped with the explainability capability that provides explainability for AI outputs, hence keeping the outcomes and outputs from AI systems well explained in a transparent manner that adds to the trustworthiness and that adds to the accountability, which are core to AI governance frameworks on Google Cloud Platform. So overall, to conclude, these are extensive and very helpful capabilities on Google Cloud Platform that directly or indirectly can be leveraged and plugged into the frameworks of AI governance as per the designs, customizations, and tailored outcomes needed by the corporate or the organization. Now, let's wrap up our discussion on the AI governance on Google Cloud by another set of inevitable implementations, and that include the audits, compliance, and operationalization. So let's take a look. Audits. So AI audits and compliance reviews are very much possible on Google Cloud Platform. And these audits and compliance reviews equip the stakeholders to continuously improve the governance controls. The governance solutions and implementations at the very first stage are not the final stage solutions. These frameworks at initial stages of implementations are not the final stages of implementation because they are continuously improved. They are repetitively improvised by continuous inputs being received by these audits and compliance reviews. So now let's pick up the first one. The first capability on Google Cloud Platform is the capability by the user or the stakeholder to procure the logged data or the log reports in a very secure manner for all the operations and implementations of the AI deployments on Google Cloud Platform. By securely procuring the log reports, the evidence is maintained for the complete governance review. Hence, the governance reviews on Google Cloud Platform can be completely and totally supported by credible data through the log reports. And these reviews may involve intense data analytics, data visualization, dashboards being evaluated on continuous basis for the overall governance reviews, and each organization may have its own customized list of governance checks that have to be reviewed along with the mandatory checks that have to be part of the overall governance review. However, no matter what the agenda in the governance review is, it is very well possible to support it with the log reports and logging based data for the oversight needed. The next implementation on Google Cloud is the possibility of internal audits of AI systems. There are systems internally that check whether the adherence to the governance framework, components like policies, etc., is in place. And one example would be the applications which would be prohibited versus applications which would be allowed. So the systems would internally continuously audit to ensure and check that the prohibited applications are not in operations, and the right set of actions to prevent them or delete them or not operate them has been adopted by the user to adhere to the AI governance on Google Cloud. Another example that contributes to AI audits and compliance reviews on Google Cloud is the validation of the compliances as per international standards with the right set of policies customized and tailored internally by the organization. This also ensures confirmed alignment with the guidelines and the regulatory policies of that given organization. Last but not the least example to support the accomplishment of AI audits and compliance reviews on Google Cloud platform is that integration with regulatory audits, which could belong to third party, is also feasible on Google Cloud platform. So third party tools, technologies that are capable of reviewing and auditing is also feasible on Google Cloud platform. Now, having discussed about the audits and compliance reviews, let's talk about the most important pillar, which is operationalization. I repeat, operationalization. So, operationalizing AI governance on Google Cloud would be achieved through the exemplary implementations as shown in this cartoon. This set of implementations would allow secure, responsible, and efficient AI deployment framework overall, but that too at the operational level. So, the first and the foremost implementation is going to be upskill the human force which is going to be responsible for AI practices. This human force need not only be upskilled for AI practices, but also be trained for responsible AI usage. All the capabilities as discussed in the previous slides, the capabilities on Google Cloud Platform. These capabilities can be comprehended. These capabilities can be well implemented. These capabilities can be controlled by the workforce involved on those projects, which need to be trained for AI ethics and the fairness that needs to be in place in the AI projects so that they can leverage the capability on Google Cloud to the bestest and the fullest. So overall, empowering the workforce with right knowledge on ethical practices and safe AI development is highly crucial for the operations of the organization and corporate within the boundaries of AI governance frameworks. Next comes the alignment of the governance with business objectives. The corporates and organizations may not very easily compromise on business objectives, which is core to human nature, but these objectives should be ensured to be aligned with the governance frameworks and not violate the boundaries of the AI governance frameworks. So, Google Cloud Platform that offers services for AI solutions that are catering to business objectives. These services are well within the boundaries and are compliant and well aligned within the governance frameworks, as we've discussed in all the previous slides through the different examples. This, when clubbed and integrated correctly with human force, also on the right track of ethical and safe AI development together, can really make a difference and ensure that there are no violations of the governance frameworks altogether. And at the same time, the strategic goals and the business objectives of the organizations can also be accomplished. So it would be a win-win for both the mankind and the stakeholders for given set of AI solutions under considerations. Now let's come to another example that supports that the operations on Google Cloud Platform can be performed well within the AI governance frameworks, right? So the Google Cloud Platform and the services implemented allow scalable AI innovations which are sustainable and can be deployed for responsible long-term growth for any given organization that aims to expand its AI capabilities. Hence, there are minimum limitations. Also, these governance frameworks are integrated in automated manner within these services, thereby allowing the expansion of AI capabilities well within the governance frameworks. So not only implementation of capabilities, but expansion of capabilities and innovation in those AI systems can also be done well within the boundaries of AI governance frameworks. And without innovation, the human race is at risk of being overpowered by the AI capabilities. So innovations are highly central and critical in this AI era, and Google Cloud Platform supports and allows that to be accomplished because the governance frameworks are already taken care of by the services. So the stakeholders can then focus on innovation. Or in other words, the governance frameworks and implementations practices, policies, and the services which can be leveraged like logging and monitoring are already provisioned by Google Cloud Platforms, are already fully managed by Google Cloud Platform so that the stakeholders can focus on innovation. So that's a big, great partnership that the stakeholders get from the Google Cloud Platform and the integrated AI governance frameworks. Next is going to be the very specific example of CI/CD pipelines. CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So the applications that are first developed, deployed, they are continuously improved. The newer features are integrated. The changes are integrated. Newer versions are generated, which are deployed also in real times, are the ones that offer the systems to be highly efficient. These pipelines, the CI/CD pipelines from, again, these are feasible on Google Cloud Platform as well through systems like Kubernetes on Google Cloud Platform. Even these CI/CD pipelines based systems are well integrated with governance implementations. They are well integrated with checks and controls within the complete software development life cycle. So the integration of these checks and controls and these governance-based core pillars are well embedded in Google Cloud services for software development lifecycle, for data management and handling lifecycle, for models management life cycles, etc. Hence, every component of the solution, which is leveraging Google Cloud Platform service, be it data, be it model, be it the software development, is well embedded with the checks and controls for AI governance to be supported well. But this example is popping out here typically because of the core agenda of this slide, which is operationalization. So software development life cycles, typically CI/CD pipelines, are central to the operationalizations or are examples of, central pillars to operationalizations or operations altogether for a given organization. And last but not the least is that these governance frameworks at the operational level can be automated for enforcement wherever possible within the Google Cloud Platform and the services from Google Cloud Platform. So the automation of policy enforcement adds efficiency and that allows guaranteed automated implementation of the governance implementations at the operations level. So by utilizing the automated tools, internally integrated tools on the services from Google Cloud Platform, and also the integrations of guardrails, as we've discussed, the compliances can be ensured effectively and efficiently. So overall, we see that different perspectives or different, let's say, different components of the given AI solutions, including the stage of operations, can be well furnished with the AI governance frameworks through the Google Cloud Platform provided services, tools, technologies, etc., thereby providing an overall secure, automated, efficient AI deployment framework, which is embedded with AI governance framework. To summarize all what we have discussed, it would be important to highlight that AI governance is essential for responsible and scalable AI adoption. Google Cloud provides strong native governance capabilities that too at different levels, be it data, be it models, be it operations, be it software lifecycle development. And such native governance capabilities are furnished by Google Cloud Platform through clear policies, guardrails, continuous monitoring, audits, compliance reviews, and fully operationalized governance capabilities for overall long-term AI success for any given organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Geetika. That was incredibly insightful. Now, I know everyone's looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, I'd like to give the presentation rights over to Ifla, our product marketing person, who's going to introduce you to some of our fantastic promotions and webinar-related courses.
Thank you, Tracy. Insightful session. I believe everyone must have learned something new today or would have been able to brush up their skills around Google Cloud technology.
So firstly, I'm excited to announce that Netcom Learning is now an authorized training partner for Google Cloud, making us your go-to destination for cloud skilling. With this milestone, we are proud to offer comprehensive training across the three leading cloud technologies globally: Microsoft Azure, AWS Cloud, and now Google Cloud. So Netcom Learning is your one-stop shop for cloud skilling. I would also quickly like to take you through some of our hand picked resources, which we think will immensely help in accelerating your Google Cloud skilling journey. Well, this document here that I'm presenting has been shared with you all in the handout section of GoToWebinar panel. You can download this document and access all the resources and browse all the offerings we have curated for you. So first up is the list of our recommended courses, which we feel will best suit your learning journey after attending our masterclass. So all these courses here are hyperlinked. Feel free to go through them post event and check out the course descriptions and prerequisites and the value it can add to you and your team skill sets. Additionally, we have curated a blend of resources, including our upcoming and on demand events, as well as some informative and educational blogs. So you can make the most of these resources to gain extensive knowledge on the Google Cloud topics they cover. Also, here I would like to inform you that today's masterclass session is being recorded. So, in case you want to refer back to any of the topics that were covered by the trainer today, we'll be sharing the recording link with you through emails, and also you can access the link here on the handout so that you can revisit the session and learn at your own pace. Now, apart from our virtual sessions, you can also catch all the relevant updates related to IT and business training on our social media handles. So please feel free to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest updates. Our official pages and channels are linked here on the icons. Finally, if you have any suggestions regarding the topics you would like us to cover in our upcoming webinars and masterclasses, please don't hesitate to send us a direct message or leave a comment on our social media posts, or you can just simply email us at google@netcomlearning.com. We would definitely try to come up with the sessions on your suggested topics. Thank you once again for joining us today. You guys have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Ifla. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session.
The first question is, what measures can help organizations use AI responsibly on Google Cloud?
One example of measures that can help organizations use AI responsibly on Google Cloud would be the implementation of Vertex AI model cards and the integrated IAM policies, the identity access management policies. So these can guide overall responsible AI usage. Thank you.
The next question is, how can enterprises align AI development with regulations and ethics?
AI development with regulations and ethics can be achieved by implementing multiple important practices. But one example of that practice would be implementing the DLP API. So DLP stands for Data Loss Prevention, which is going to help detect the sensitive data or detect the privacy sensitive fragments in text and images. So if such privacy sensitive fragments are detected, then this would prevent the violation of regulations and ethics. Thank you.
The next question is, in what ways can errors in AI models be detected or prevented?
Explainable AI with another implementation, which would be continuous monitoring. These both can be helpful to highlight model bias or the drifts and hence overall help detect the bias and errors in AI models. Thank you.
The last question is, which best practices build accountability in AI systems on Google Cloud?
One example of implementations that would help building accountability and trust in AI systems would be cloud audit logs based compliance reviews. This may help maintain accountability, transparency, and hence trust in AI systems. Thank you.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave this session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.